Hey everybody, welcome back to Chicago Reacts. My name is Michael. I'm an actor here in the city of Chicago, and I'm joined by the ever-brilliant, the always talented, the one, the only.
It's Zach, also an actor here in Chicago, soon to be worldwide. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are exploring some martincitopants, which it's been a while for us, but we know you guys love Kelsey's reactions to him, and we're doing some Kerbal Scuffed program. And this is a series of videos that he's made.
Yeah, so this is one. We're doing Sacrifice for the Sake of Science. Hey, if you're liking these videos, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything else, and leave a comment.
Yeah.
We love those comments. Let's jump into it,
If you're watching this live, by the
yeah.
way, if you're watching this within 3 hours of this dropping, we are currently live on Twitch, and this applies every single day. So go ahead over and check us out on Twitch at Chicago_plays if you're interested.
Let's jump into it, shall we?
Let's freaking do it. All right. Sure that we are good here.
We are good.
Oh, yes.
Hello again. Today, we'll be playing the greatest space disaster simulator to ever hit virtual store shelves.
Do love Kerbal Space Program. So I played this. I put money hours into this game, and I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this before, and I have no experience, but Michael does actually enjoy it. So.
It's a blast.
All right, Martin.
A game dedicated to constructing your own grand scientific endeavors, like how many Kerbals makes up an adequate crush space for this lander. A game that requires full activation of your frontal lobe. A game where ethics, morality, and the safety of your subjects take a backseat to science, exploration, and getting that bread.
I've killed so many
Kerbals. The inevitable catastrophic failure is often better than the mission itself. You may think that NASA has had some pretty terrible disasters over the years, but they have nothing on the Bean space program's preliminary rocket testing.
Dude, it's the eyes for me, man.
It's so good.
The eyes for
the way
me.
things burn up and destroy, and the way it like tracks all the different particles, like one thing smashes into another. It's so great. It's hilarious.
This little guy made some poor decisions with the last remaining fuel, and has just been sitting here on his space chair, all alone, orbiting the sun. And he's been here for the last 78 years.
Holy.
Poor lad. You might be wondering where I am right now. Well, I'm not on Kerbin. I'm also not on the moon. I'm not on Duna or Eve. Not Drez, Bop, or Pol. Not even Tylo. Dickhead. I'm on a planet very, very far away.
What?
A planet orbiting an entirely different star to our own. An exoplanet. Proxima Centauri B.
Really?
Hold on a minute. You might also be wondering how I got here.
Yeah,
Well,
I've
quite a
never
long
been
story.
out of system in Kerbal.
Yeah, so do you...
But I haven't played in a while. I also know Kerbal, they're still working on 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do they, do you actually like control the Kerbal itself?
So you build the spaceship, and then you jettison it, and then you're like flying the spaceship. But you also can like control the Kerbal. You can get out and go on like spacewalks and do stuff like that. Don't exit. The worst thing to do though is exit when you're flying through space, because I've done that before and just jettisoned my space because I was like, oh, what's this do? Oh, my Kerbal got sucked out into space. Whoops.
It's like combining Kirby and Gerbil.
Yeah.
We've got rockets, massive catastrophic explosions, intense nuclear radiation, antimatter containment, orb, touchy.
Oh no, bad.
Holy.
Excellent.
And encounters with KSP's Deep Space Kraken. So buckle up, fuckos, because today we're going to the stars. But before we begin, some rules. As you probably know, KSP only has this star, and no real means of getting to any others, which means we'll need to add some mods. I'd like to demonstrate to both my PC and myself.
Is it a pretty mod friendly game? I mean, it seems like
I've never played with mods actually, so I'm not sure.
Interesting.
The concept of no pain, no gain. So today we're jamming as many mods as physically possible into the game. How many, you may be asking? Well, this many. Lots if you're a
Oh,
new player, but really not that many if you're a true blue KSP gamer. As a side note, I tried desperately to get Realism Overhaul and Real Solar System to work properly with some form of progression to the warp drive, which is the only propulsion system that is actually fun to use for going interstellar distances. This would have made for an interesting challenge, as Earth is about 10 times larger than Kerbal, and much, much harder to orbit. What actually happened was I ended up with a horrible, unplayable, covered mess. Annoyingly, the way you're meant to play these mods is with RP1, a modified tech tree and contract system. However, this did not include a path to warp drive technology, so instead I used the community tech tree and hoped it would work. It didn't. I streamed this horrible, several hour-long suffering marathon, which ended in me restarting a save once after effectively being soft-locked from the game, and a second time after being cucked by several engine failures on my first try at an orbital flight. Engine failure. It burn time, I guess. Alright, we gotta light it immediately. Oh no!
Immediate.
Oh no, that's bad. Oh,
Oh my god, no. Are you kidding me?
Oh no.
Oh no. I remember why I don't like this shoot. Because it's just a drogue shoot. It's
oh no, it's not gonna stop it.
Oh
Pat.
my
It's not gonna be slow enough.
No.
Ah! Man, I mean that so much of this game is like trying to build a spaceship and then shooting it off into space and then going, oh, I put the wrong thing on. Oh, that's not gonna work. Oh, whoops, I didn't do that right.
A lot of trial.
Everything blows up and it's excellent.
As you just watch all of your hard work and dedication just go to
It's
the
like cool.
shit.
That 3-hour build was not worth it. Yeah, it's you know, it's irritating, but it's also fantastic.
Alright. I'm sure getting warp drive to work in this mode while keeping the game playable is possible, but I clearly lack this KSP knowledge. So no Earth. Back to Kerbal. The mods that I actually have added add all sorts of cool and good stuff. New parts, new features,
Oh,
new planets.
sick.
Yeah, you can
tweaked
even do
science,
planes and stuff like that. It's really cool.
really?
Yeah. Because
So
you can build like space planes that will like take your rocket up to whatever. I think it's different because like Kerbal, like the planet that you're on in
Yeah.
Kerbal is like a different ratio than it's like a ratio of Earth. So you have to get it up to like I think 60,000 or 70,000. That's where like the atmosphere ends.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So you can get it up to like 50 or 60, I think, and then launch the rocket from a space
Interesting.
plane or something like that. You could also just fly
Okay.
around.
Cool. No, that's all. So, and then is it like a sandbox in the sense of like you just your goal is to kind of you make whatever goals you want, but is there like a
Yeah, I mean, you
goal
can play
plan?
sandbox mode. There's also a mission mode where you're like trying to raise like money for your space program, and you have to do different things like send rockets up, get a rocket into orbit, land on the moon, land on a different planet. Like there are different like
Okay.
phases that you're trying to achieve.
Cool.
So
Okay.
yeah.
This I'm starting to get really into this actually.
Yeah, honestly, this game is great. It's fantastic.
Real.
Oh no.
For actually getting to the other stars, we have acquired the warp drive. This way we'll get there within a
Yes.
few weeks instead of 800 years. Also, warp drives are cool. Okay, let us begin.
Lettuce. Oh.
So, it looks like we have a long road ahead of us. Our fledgling space program starts with a couple of bucks, some brave Kerbonauts, and several ex-war criminal rocket scientists.
He's starting on like the mission mode where you actually have to like earn money. So he's gonna have to build up the space program, which is great.
Okay.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, is this how it generally starts? You start.
Yeah,
with like,
so you start with like nothing, and you have to unlock your skill tree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Our first rocket only has access to very basic parts. To access better parts, we must perform research and collect valuable data. In case you forgot, we have an exceedingly large pile of mods, meaning the tech tree now expands very nice and far. This is good because it gives us much more time for things to go terribly wrong.
Yes.
The warp drive itself is all the way at the end for a cool 28,000 science points. Our first technologies cost 5. Anyway, enough babbling. On to constructing. Our first rocket has one goal: To tackle this great challenge, the Bean space program has created the most powerful nugget to ever.
Them all just like walking around the station. That's so cool. Like they're all like in real
be
time
launched.
working.
Its name, Obama Prism.
Oh, that's attractive.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes. There she goes. Yeah, the first launch is just like, go as high as you can.
Okay. That's pretty high. That looks really good, actually.
Honestly, once you get into space, the graphics are really, really cool. I mean, honestly, they're not bad at any point, but they're like really good in space, I think. The reflections that you get are really cool.
Yeah.
Very good. Great success.
Yes.
But how? Alright, class, listen up. Today, we're talking about solid rocket boosters. Our great and powerful vehicle, Obama Prism, uses a weird little solid rocket booster to propel itself upwards. But what is a solid rocket booster? Well, a solid rocket booster is a booster that uses a solid fuel. I know.
Nice.
I know. I wouldn't have figured that one out either. The solid fuel is made up of an oxidizing agent and a fuel. Think of it like a high-powered explosive that explodes gently. When it's lit, the rocket burns this fuel and creates a very hot gas. Now, Kevin.
Okay, this is actually really cool though. Like, there's actually some real knowledge.
Oh yeah, like it's actually interesting. I watched. I'm gonna forget his name. Like, there are some actual like physics engineers that will play Kerbal and relate it to like actual world stuff. Like, and you can get mods or even in-game stuff is like based on real science, and it's just all sort of scaled down.
That's wow. That is like beyond cool. What an awesome
it's pretty
way.
awesome.
Yeah, what an awesome way to engage like potentially kids too, to get them interested in physics and all that stuff. That's
yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty awesome.
Please remind the class about Newton's third law. Every action. Okay, Kevin, I'm gonna need you to be quiet. I did not ask. Anyway, Newton at one point was like, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Basically, push on something, and the thing pushes back. This principle is how literally everything moves. Your car pushes the ground, which pushes back on the car. An airplane pushes the air pushes the plane. Simple. So, when the hot gas shoots out one end, what happens to the rocket? It goes forward. Shut up, Kevin! It goes forward in the opposite direction of the gas, thus creating thrust. So, when we smash that spacebar, the rocket goes up. Incredible. Class dismissed.
All right, launch number 2. Here
we've
we
done
go.
Our first launch, got our first bit of science, and completed our first contract.
Getting that science.
Very good. Next step is to leave the atmosphere of Kerbal and hopefully make it back in one piece. To do this, we'll need to create the most powerful rocket ever built. Obama Prism 2. It's a very complex and intricately engineered rocket. We get Obama Prism 1, then attach 4 more boosters to it.
Yes.
Engineered. The boosters have no decouplers between them, so to get them to separate, we'll use the next booster to explode the spent booster. You'll see what I mean. Let's launch. On our second great journey, we are once again launching our best and bravest pilot, Jeb. He's been around since the very beginning, along with Bill and Bob. A true staple of the KSP universe.
Yes.
Jeb is the first Kerbonaut any aspiring program manager launches. He's also the bravest the entire program has to offer, smiling in the face of even the greatest catastrophe. And he's dead.
No.
Oh, no. No, Jebediah, no. Mach 2 collision with water.
That's like crazy.
When they're flying, they always have their like faces that they're making and stuff, and it is hilarious. Like, you can see like when they're taking off, they're like, it's hilarious.
Oh my God.
It's such a good balance between like actual science and physics and just like silliness.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
That's what gives it's the Kerbals that give it its charm.
It truly is.
Really, it's a physics simulator ultimately, but then it's the Kerbals that make it a game.
Yeah, it's great.
To those who have played this game before, you may just say, oh well, revert the flight and do it again. How? That's right, the game is set to hard, which means no reverting to mission assembly, no quick saving, and no crew respawning. So Jeb is actually dead.
Oh,
forever.
No.
But why is Jeb dead? Okay, class, sit down and buckle your fuckles. In this lesson, we're doing aerodynamic stability and what even is space anyway.
That's great.
So what actually happened? Well, if we rewind the video, you'll notice a minute and difficult to catch detail that led to Jeb's death. If you look really close, you can see he smashes into the water at several times the speed of sound. Interesting. But why?
No.
Passive
Parachutes.
aerodynamic stability. I want you to imagine a dart flying through the air. The dart can only point in one direction, forward. If you try throwing a dart backwards, it'll just go and point forwards again. This is because a dart has wings at the back and its mass at the front. The dart is passively stable when flying forwards and unstable when flying backwards. Similar situation with the late Obama Prism 2. The mass is concentrated towards the front of the vessel where the capsule is, and the little wings act to keep it stable in the forward direction. Unlucky for us, this direction also happens to make the capsule very aerodynamic, i.e. it doesn't slow down. As we re-entered the atmosphere, the little reaction wheels in the capsule kept it pointing backwards, but once the air got thicker, it pushed on the wings and forced the ship into a nosedive. Once in this position, the craft acts very much like a dart and doesn't slow down enough to open the parachute, ending with Jeb smacking straight into the water at twice the speed of sound. Rest in peace, Jeb. Before Jeb met with the ocean at Mach 2, he managed to fly completely out of the atmosphere, topping out at over 100 kilometers. In KSP, the atmosphere ends at exactly 70 kilometers. You can easily tell when you're there, because the music goes like...
It does.
On Earth, it's a little less clear-cut, because there are technically air molecules all the way up past 400 kilometers, but the generally agreed upon altitude that space begins is 100 kilometers, known as the Kármán line. So why is this important? Well, we'd like to get to orbit eventually, which means we'll need to be traveling really fast in one direction. Air doesn't like it when you go through it really fast, so we avoid the air altogether by going up nice and high. Air doesn't reach higher up because Kerbin's gravity pulls it all down to the surface. Also, Kevin, please just be quiet next time. The class is trying to learn. I didn't say anything, bro. Shut up! Just shut up.
Shut up.
Class dismissed.
Shut up.
Second launch down. Less successful than the first, but we still made money. Jeb may be dead, but we got that bread. We're actually going to invest our research into better parts to avoid our previous mistakes. Our next rocket is even more powerful than Obama Prism 2. Obama Prism 3. I'll just cut to the chase. Obama Prism 3 didn't make it. To orbit, that is. Don't worry, Valentina is still alive.
Yay.
For now. We didn't have enough fuel to reach orbit, so we turned around, ditched the tank, and splashed down in the water.
I was
Without
gonna
exploding.
4
Very
FPS.
good. We didn't die. But we also didn't make it to orbit. Why?
Back to the classroom.
Okay, class, keep those fuckles buckled. Today, we're learning basic orbital mechanics. Among some other things. First off, why do we shoot parts off the rocket? Why not instead just make a long noodly rocket that has all the fuel in a single tank? I'll tell you why. Mass. When these tanks are empty, they still contribute mass to the vessel. Hey, psst, hey, Kevin. What equation is Newton most famous for? That's right, force equals mass times acceleration. Oh yeah. If we do some high-level algebra, we can rearrange this and get acceleration is force divided by mass. When the mass is lower, the acceleration is higher. Thus, eliminating excess mass makes you go faster. Very nice. After ditching our first 3 solid rocket booster stages, we get this special engine on our last stage. This is a liquid-fueled engine. Instead of burning a solid propellant, it mixes fuel and oxidizer inside the engine to create the hot gas. Liquid engines are much more efficient than solid boosters and can be throttled and even turned off. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, solid boosters can't be turned off. Once you start them, they go.
Yeah.
And go.
Yep.
And go. And fueled engines are pretty cool, but they come with a price. Literally. Just the engine, without the fuel on this rocket, costs as much as all 3 of the solid rocket boosters combined. So solid boosters make economical sense for sections that don't need the greatest efficiency. Now, of course, the elephant in the room. No, not that elephant. He's purely ornamental. Gravity. Gravity pulls at all objects with mass. Our spacecraft has mass, thus it is subject to gravity. Wow. Gravity pulls with a force depending on how far away from the body you are. If the mass and distance are kept constant, the force is also kept constant. Meaning, if you can generate enough force in the opposite direction, you can fly. Now, of course, there are many, many ways to... Dude, really? You're just gonna fucking stand there? Come on, get out of here, bro. As I was saying, there are many...
Yo, elephants are so cool. They're fantastic.
Incredibly
creatures.
smart.
I
as
think
well.
seeing elephant like walked into the room, I'd just be in awe.
An absolute awe.
So majestic.
Excuse me. It's just martincitopants is hilarious, dude. I love like what a brilliant just scream at the elephant like. He's very like self-aware in terms of like obviously I like that martincitopants his jokes really aren't even related to the actual content itself. It's just actually him like
it's just,
like making
this
more
is what happens
himself.
in my brain.
Yeah, in my brain.
Many ways to generate force. Wings, brakes, engines, parachutes, magnets, electric fields, mass, just straight up pushing on shit. You get the idea. But today we want to look at centripetal and centrifugal forces. Both of these forces exist when something is rotating. Well, technically centrifugal force doesn't actually exist, but I'll leave that as an exercise for you to explain. Answer in the comments. Do it now. A common example is a ball on the end of a string. Centripetal force is the force that the string exerts on the ball, while centrifugal force is the force that the ball experiences in the opposite direction. Now, how does this relate to Obama Prism 3? Well, as you probably have experienced, the faster you spin a ball in a string, the harder it pulls away from you. This means that our imaginary centrifugal force is increasing. Once it goes past the force generated by gravity, we achieve orbit. But we didn't do that, so on to... For this mission, we're going with a complete redesign. We've ditched the Obama Prism
Nomenclature.
We've ditched Obama Prism and moved on to casting couch. Oh yep. It's got thicker thighs and more rocket juice for the liquid stage. Hopefully this time, we'll reach orbit. Let's launch.
He's gonna make it. Oh, he's got to start turning into his.
Oh, so that okay.
Oh, he could be doing a more efficient burn, in my opinion.
We do have an expert here.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
How do you know when you hit orbit?
It'll let you know.
And would you look at that? An actual orbit. We've done it, lads. We'll be at Proxima Centauri in no time. But we're just about out of fuel, so we'll deorbit.
Valentina!
Yeah.
Wow, would you look at that? It's hot. Very hot, in fact.
Yeah.
So hot that it's learning time.
This is interesting. We're breaking down every single like aspect of it. It's fun.
It's actually really cool. Like Martin came into this video very prepared to actually teach some lessons here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is all around us.
We're
Have you ever
learning Newton's laws.
Friction.
Kevin.
From Kevin.
Moved in a car and then stopped moving in a car. Friction. Rub two metal plates together so hard they form a robust friction weld. Friction. That last one is important. It demonstrates how friction generates lots of heat. So tell me, Kevin, why is there a giant plasma flare around casting couch? Friction? Yes. In case you didn't realize, our craft is moving really, really
I was
fast.
expecting a bigger
Over
yes.
2,000 meters per second, in fact, which translates to roughly 32,927 Big Macs stacked vertically every single second. Pretty quick. As you can imagine, this means we have lots of kinetic energy. If you've ever ridden a bike with disc brakes, you'd know that using the brakes converts your speed into heat within the brakes. Ah, fuck! Exact same principle here, just with much more speed. The amount of kinetic energy something has is related to the square of the velocity. This sounds kinda complicated, but it just means that when you double your speed, you quadruple your energy. So casting couch has a huge amount of energy. Hence, when it slows down, giant plasma flare. Nice.
Nice.
Nope. Nope. Launch 5 is boring.
I
In
wonder
Launch
if we're
5,
gonna
we did
get
a
to
quick
move.
shoot past the moon.
Oh, we're
We
doing a
got some
shoot.
decent
That's-
science, but it was boring. Now we're on Launch 6. The goal of Launch 6 is simple.
That blew up.
Land on the moon
Land on the
and
moon.
come back.
Yeah, landing
For
on the
this
moon
job,
is
we have
tough.
yet again created the most
And come back.
Yeah, so you got to land on
So,
the moon
uh-huh.
with enough fuel to take off and get back
Yeah.
into Earth's orbit.
Wow.
Yeah.
This game is actually really,
Oh yeah,
wow.
it gets so intense. Like getting to man, it gets really hard. I will say like the moon is the only thing I've gotten to, and even then, my moon landings have been bad. So, I my expertise beyond this first video is
Mhm.
that's it. It's gonna end. So
God. Yeah, spoiler. This is a part of a series, and
yeah,
Yeah,
but it gets
man.
really detailed. I mean, this game is really fun. It is a blast. If you haven't tried it, I highly suggest it. Though maybe wait for 2 to come out. I think it's coming out. Well, I don't know. They keep pushing.
it's probably going to take a long. I'm assuming there has to be a lot of like trial and error with the coding and stuff to make
Yeah.
a game like.
Well, it's nice
this.
that they have a lot of that from the first game, and
Yeah,
this game
yeah.
has been out for over a decade, I think. So the second one is, and they've been working on the second one for a little while. So I think it'll be really cool when it comes out. I think it'll be really good. Okay.
most powerful rocket ever built. Obama Prism 4. This rocket uses 2 SRBs mounted to a large inner stage. The upper stage has a special liquid engine and a lot of fuel for it to drink.
Nice.
Let's launch.
Oh yeah, now he's doing a good burn. That was a very efficient burn. Just waiting till he gets out of the atmosphere before he does a full burn.
Orbit achieved, but we keep going.
This is.
And then you have like your encounter with. That's wild.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he actually has a lot of fuel. He's doing really well. This is landing is so hard because you've got to get your speed down so you can land safely. And that bounce, that was so well done. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The amount of times I landed and then tipped over is rough.
Yeah, God. I mean,
It's not
We've
fun.
done it. Valentina hops out the pod and plants our first extraterrestrial flag.
Yay.
What do we say in this great and profound moment? Do we honor the engineers and scientists that brought us here? Do we honor the late Obama Prism 2 and Jeb? Do we thank our pet goldfish for giving us the strength to continue when we needed it most? No. Instead, we carefully inscribe the plaque with pee-pee, poo-poo, come. Astounding.
Astounding. For science. Oh. Did he not put a ladder on it? That's gonna make it hard to get back into the ship.
Okay, I'm bored.
Oh, okay.
Let's go home.
So then, do you have to re-establish orbit with Kerbal too? While trying to land back.
Yeah,
in?
so now he's getting back. Well, he doesn't have to get. He just has to have an in. Get back where he can slow down enough not to get shot out. Yeah. Yay!
And there we have it. We went to the moon and didn't die. But how? Nope, that's enough. I would do the next lesson, but it looks like we're out of time. And more importantly, I'm getting a little sick of it. So it looks like we'll have to wait for next episode.
Yeah.
That's right. There will be another episode. But you might need to wait. In the meantime, subscribe to my channel. Now, all of the career gameplay in this video is taken from YouTube live streams I've been doing. This video only covered what happened in my first stream. As of recording, I've actually done 4. But to be
he did
perfectly
that.
honest,
He
they're
did
basically
that
the same
in
as the first
one stream.
If you
dude.
desperately need to watch
Yeah.
them, they can all be found
That's
in
pretty
the KSP
good.
stream
Yeah.
section.
I mean,
of
those
Discord.
first couple flights are pretty
The next
easy. It's
streams I
like,
do will involve other
you know,
planets.
it's
and
not too
going to,
crazy.
so stay posted for that. I'll also be doing KSP weapons development streams, where you can send in your
Yes.
crafts and I'll have them fight each other. If this
Oh,
sounds interesting
cool.
to you, join the Discord. I'll make a KSP craft channel that you can stick them in.
Oh, that's
remember to
excellent.
read the
I will say
craft
that's
submission
what's really
guidelines
cool. Is it's
before
easy to
submission.
share like your designs and
Please.
stuff like that. So I know there are
If this
some.
doesn't sound interesting,
I've seen some things where people like race to the moon and back in a minute or something like
Oh,
that,
damn. Wow.
and it's insane.
Wow, you
Like,
can do. Jeez.
Maybe not. Maybe a minute. That seems really fast, but I don't know. Anyway,
Wow.
hey,
That's super cool.
yeah, I was really fun to jump back in. I haven't played KSP in so long. It was really fun to dive back in and see Martincitopants play, and especially playing like the mission mode where he's like actually taking the time, but to do it in a fun way. Like
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how it continues.
Yeah.
I hope you all like this series.
Yeah, Martincitopants for us, yeah, we don't have nearly as much experience with him as like Kelsey does on the channel, but this is really cool. I really appreciate his sense of humor too, like because
Yeah.
he creates humor outside of like what's actually going on, and
Yeah.
he does it in a really like unique way that relates to the general idea of the game, but isn't like specifically tied to the game itself, which is really cool. Like I
Yeah.
actually learned something from Martincitopants today.
Yeah,
So
really
yeah, that was
fun.
awesome.
And I'm excited to dive into the rest of it. If you're enjoying it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in that comment section down below. What was your first trek to the moon like? Mine ended. I was going way too fast, and I just blew up on the surface of
on
the
the
moon.
surface.
I didn't have enough fuel to slow down. It was bad. So yeah, let us know in that comment section down below, and we'll see you next time on Chicago
Reacts.
Reacts.
Rest in peace, Jeb.